Are the Portland Trailblazers contenders? I'm Madeline Burke for Sports Illustrated, along with Rohan Nedkarni and Michael Pina. And guys, Damian Lillard is playing his way into the MVP conversation. CJ McCollum and Jusuf Nurkic are making a return to the court in the coming weeks. The Blazers are currently a 6th seed in the Western Conference, but can this team win it all this year? Rohan?
I don't know that they're ready to win it all, Maddie. I think they're obviously a very good team. Damian Lillard has been playing out of his mind. There's just already a long list of contenders in the Western Conference. You have the Clippers, the Lakers, the Suns, and the Jazz. I think those have been the top 4 teams. I mean, Portland's going to be really good, especially when fully healthy. Not just Jusuf Nurkic. If they can get Zach Collins back at some point. I just don't know that they have what it takes to usurp those 4 teams ahead of them. We haven't even talked about the Denver Nuggets yet, who made the Western Conference Finals last year. I think it's going to be a very tall order for the Blazers to even make the finals, let alone win it. So I think they're a very good team. I have complete respect and admiration for Damian Lillard, who I think is going to retire with one of the best reputations of any star player in this game. I'm just not ready to say they're a contender.
Sounds like you don't respect them enough, Rohan. My definition of a contender is a bit wider than most. I think, can the Blazers win 2 playoff series and then get into the conference finals where anything can happen? Sure. So I'm going to call them a contender. They have Damian Lillard, who's positioned himself to win MVP. They can score with anyone and have the second best clutch offense in the league. They're 16-6 in close games, almost all played without McCollum or Jusuf Nurkic. Portland takes more non-corner threes than any other team in the league, and they're the 3rd most accurate team on non-corner threes, which is absolutely critical in today's NBA. And I think the defense has been, for sure, an issue. But when Nurkic returns, you move Enes Kanter to the bench, and you get to play him in a more limited role. And Carmelo Anthony and Robert Covington are no longer your backup 5. So I think that that'll improve a little bit. Dame has reached the conference finals with less talented teams, with a CJ McCollum who was not really accessing the 3-point line as he did before he went down with an injury. So yeah, I think that we should consider the Portland Trailblazers to be a contender. They're really good at the end of tight games, and if they can get them into close situations, they have the best crunch time scorer in the NBA.
Could have been a contender. You got to go with that Marlon Brando on the waterfront vibe right there. Rowan's shaking his head no, but you know what? Charles Barkley does believe in this team. He put down a $100,000 bet in December that the Blazers would win the West this year. That being said, though, this team has been knocked out in the first round of the playoffs in 3 of the last 4 years, with the exception of 2019 when they lost in the Western Conference Finals. This team does have talent, though, to Michael's point, and you know what? They can be in that conversation, especially in a year like this. And Damian Lillard, Rohan, you addressed this earlier as well, has been playing out of his mind. 50 points, 10 assists, and a game winner in recent weeks or recent games. But also the clutch time. Dame time and clutch time are synonymous. The NBA's definition of clutch time is the final 5 minutes of a game with a point difference of 5 or fewer. In that time, in that situation, Lillard leads the league in clutch points with 124. He's shooting 60% from the field, 53.3 from 3-point range, and 100% from the foul line in clutch situations. So this is the man that you want when the game is on the line. We've seen that before. Rohan, you are still shaking your head because you are so anti this.
I was confronted there by my good buddy Michael Pina. I would just like to ask him for his full list of contenders. I don't know if we have time to get through every single team this year that he's named a contender. Is it the Jazz? Is it the Suns? Is it the Lakers? Is it the Clippers? Just tell me, out of the teams in the West, the Blazers have the best chance of winning the finals.
Oh, we're going math here.
You got to embrace parity, my guy. And, I mean, just because these teams do not have LeBron James does not mean that they have no chance at winning the championship.
Historically, that's been untrue every time he's made the playoffs. But I mean, they don't even have Kawhi Leonard or Paul George. They don't have the win profile that the Jazz have had, even though they've struggled lately. I'm just saying, I don't think everyone can be a contender. Some of us realize that you have to draw the line somewhere. You know, it can't be, let's throw everyone in the contender pot and see what it tastes like. You know, you gotta have a restrained hand, Mike.
All right, a Chef Row reference right there. But also, I mean, I got to say, if they're in the playoffs, they are a contender because they are contending for a championship. And right now, this Blazers team is on pace to do just that. A lot of ball game left, though. A lot of season left to be played and a lot of time left to decide if this Blazers team can pull it off. And we'll be following along all the way on SI.com.